Something big is happening, and if you haven't noticed yet, it's time to pay attention. Black Americans are leaving certain states in record numbers, not just a slow trickle, but a full-blown exodus. The data speaks loud and clear, and the reasons go far beyond just jobs. It's about affordability, safety, culture, and in some cases, sheer survival. Welcome to the new Great Migration, where Black professionals, families, and entire communities are packing up and heading to places that actually make sense for their futures. Some call it economic freedom, others say it's about social justice, and some just want to buy a house without sacrificing their entire paycheck. So, which states are seeing the biggest decline in their Black population, and more importantly, where are people going instead? Stick around, because some of these will absolutely shock you. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to channel, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into demographic shifts, urban migration, and Black excellence. Drop a comment below on why you think this is happening. Let's get into it. Number 10. Massachusetts. If your dream is to pay $500,000 for a shoebox-sized apartment while battling nightmare parking, then Massachusetts might be for you. But for many Black folks, it's a hard pass. Boston, the state's beating heart, is historically significant but painfully unaffordable. With median home prices soaring past $800,000 and rents averaging $3,000 a month, owning a home feels like an impossible dream. Even with a decent income, the cost of living stretches your wallet to the breaking point. And let's talk about community, because Massachusetts, for all its history, doesn't have the same thriving Black cultural scene as places like Atlanta, Houston, or Charlotte. Black residents, who make up about 24% of Boston's population, often describe the state as a place where they feel like guests rather than true hosts in their own communities. So, what happens when people can't afford to live somewhere and don't feel a strong cultural connection? They leave. Black residents are packing up and heading for cities that offer not only affordability but a real sense of belonging. Were you surprised to see Massachusetts on this list, or does this confirm what you already knew? Drop a comment below. Number 9. Louisiana. If you love amazing food, rich culture, and a side of existential dread every hurricane season, Louisiana might be your place. But for thousands of Black residents, the state has become too much to handle. Mother Nature does not play fair with Louisiana. Devastating hurricanes, Katrina, Ida, Laura, have left entire communities underwater and forced Black families to rebuild again and again. Even when the weather is calm, the economy is anything but. Louisiana relies heavily on oil and gas, which means job stability is always in question. Wages aren't keeping up, and Black homeownership rates are among the lowest in the country. How do you build a future when you're constantly rebuilding your present? Even with Louisiana's vibrant Black culture, cities like Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston are calling, and they're offering economic stability and a break from hurricane-induced stress. Would you stick it out in Louisiana, or is it time to move on? Let me know in the comments. Number 8. Missouri. Missouri is losing Black residents fast, and honestly, can you blame them? St. Louis, a city that should have been a gateway to Black prosperity, has instead become a place where people are looking for the nearest exit. Crime rates are through the roof. The FBI consistently ranks St. Louis among the most dangerous cities in America, and for Black families trying to build a future, that's a major red flag. The cycle of underfunded neighborhoods, economic instability, and a lack of real progress has left many feeling like their only option is to leave. And if crime wasn't enough, let's talk about education. Schools in Missouri's Black communities are chronically underfunded, forcing parents to cross state lines in search of better opportunities. Then there's the economy. Missouri loves to say it's growing, but who is it growing for? Black professionals often find limited job opportunities and wages that don't match the rising cost of living. With places like Dallas, Atlanta, and Nashville offering better jobs, affordable living, and a thriving Black cultural scene, the choice is clear. Black residents are saying, yeah, I think I'll pass. Do you think Missouri still has hope, or is it a sinking ship? Let me know in the comments. Number 7. Michigan. Michigan is a state with deep Black history, especially in cities like Detroit and Flint, but in recent years, that history hasn't been enough to keep people from packing their bags. Detroit, once the heart of black middle-class prosperity, has struggled with economic decline for decades. The city's comeback story is impressive, but it's not lifting everyone. Many black families are still dealing with high unemployment rates, poor city services, and neighborhoods that haven't seen real investment in years. And let's not forget Flint, the city that made national headlines because of the water crisis that still isn't fully resolved. When a city fails to provide something as basic as clean drinking water, it's no surprise that people start looking for somewhere better. Many black Michiganders are heading south to places like Atlanta, Charlotte, and Houston, where job opportunities are more plentiful, the cost of living is lower, and they don't have to shovel snow every other day. Would you stick it out in Michigan, or is it time for a fresh start? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 6. Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, but let's be honest, it hasn't been showing a lot of love to its black residents lately. Gentrification is pushing black families out of historic neighborhoods as property taxes and rent skyrocket. The same streets that once thrived with black-owned businesses and culture are now being transformed into luxury condos and high-end coffee shops. And who can afford them? Not the people who built these communities. On top of that, Pennsylvania's job market isn't keeping up. Cities like Philly and Pittsburgh still rely on old industries that don't always support upward mobility for black professionals. Tech, finance, entrepreneurship? Other cities are simply doing it better. So, what's the move? Places like Atlanta, Dallas, and Charlotte are welcoming former Pennsylvanians with open arms, better job prospects, and a stronger sense of community. Is Philly losing its soul, or do you think it can turn things around? Let me know below. Number 5. California. Wait, California? The land of sunshine, opportunity, and dreams? Yep, even California isn't safe from the exodus. Let's get real, California is expensive. The cost of living is insane, especially in cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego. For black residents, homeownership is a distant dream, with median home prices pushing past $800,000. And if you think renting is the answer, think again. In LA, you're looking at $3,000 a month for a basic one-bedroom, if you're lucky. The cost of everyday essentials like groceries, gas, and utilities keeps climbing, making it nearly impossible to build generational wealth. Then there's discrimination in the job market and a police system that still disproportionately targets black communities. Even in progressive cities, black professionals struggle to break into high-paying industries and move up the corporate ladder. So, where are people going? Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and the South. Places where the weather is just as nice, but the price tag isn't ridiculous. Is California still worth it, or is the Golden State losing its shine? Sound off in the comments. Number 4. New York. New York City is the cultural heartbeat of Black America, but it's becoming unlivable for many. Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, once the epicenters of black culture, are now playgrounds for the ultra-rich. Rent prices are out of control, with the average one-bedroom going for over $4,000 a month in Manhattan. Even in the Bronx, gentrification is creeping in, making it harder for black residents to keep their communities intact. And let's talk about quality of life, insane traffic, overcrowded trains, high taxes, and a job market that doesn't always pay enough to survive. Many black professionals and families are realizing that the hustle isn't worth it anymore. So, where are they going? Atlanta, Charlotte, Houston, and Florida, cities with thriving black business scenes, lower costs of living, and actual space to breathe. Is New York still the land of opportunity, or is it just a money pit? Let's talk about it in the comments. Number 3. Illinois. Chicago is a city full of black history, culture, and resilience, but the numbers don't lie, black residents are leaving at alarming rates. Why? Crime, high taxes, and lack of economic opportunity. While downtown Chicago has seen a resurgence, many black neighborhoods still face disinvestment, school closures, and rising violence. Then there's the property tax burden, which keeps climbing, making homeownership harder. Many black residents are fed up with feeling like they're being pushed out while new developments cater to wealthier and whiter residents. Instead of waiting for change, many are heading to Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, and the Carolinas, where their dollar stretches further and opportunities are growing. Do you think Chicago can bounce back, or is the black exodus unstoppable? Drop a comment. Number 2. Ohio. Ohio used to be a stronghold for black families looking for stability, but those days are fading fast. Cities like Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati are losing black residents as jobs disappear, wages stagnate, and housing costs creep higher. Columbus, Indiana in particular, has become more expensive without providing the job growth needed to justify it. Ohioans, is the state still worth it, or is it time to move on? Let's hear your thoughts. Number 1. Florida. Now, this one might surprise some people because Florida is actually gaining population overall, but it's losing black residents. Why? Rising housing costs, political tensions, and a feeling of being unwelcome. Florida's government has passed controversial laws that many black residents see as directly harmful to their communities. Is Florida still paradise, or has it lost its appeal? Let's hear what you think. Final thoughts. The new Great Migration is real. Black Americans are making moves, seeking places where they can thrive, not just survive. So, what do you think? Are you considering moving, or are you staying put? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.